What is up? Welcome to Get Buckets. I'm Nathan Harvey, alongside my co-host, who is not next to me, Kyle Crawford. Kyle, what's good this morning?
Not a whole lot. This podcast has gotten me up about 3 hours earlier than I've been up any of the past 5 days, so I'm here for you, Harv.
Podcast takes dedication, and we took a week and a half off so that we can be really good today. That's not true. Well, hopefully the reason you're tuning in is to listen to some NBA talk, so we're going to give you about 10 minutes of that before we ramble for another 10. Let's go over some series. We got some games tonight. Actually, we only have one game tonight. Hawks and Magic. What are your thoughts on how the Hawks played Game 1?
Well, Hawks Magic series, from Game 1 doesn't look to be much of a contest. It could go to 7 games if the Hawks change the way they played in Game 1 when they go back to the highlight factory in Atlanta. But based off of the Hawks Game 1 performance, past the first quarter, it was pathetic. I guess that's the best word to put it. And they can't. There's no way the Hawks can win the series.
Okay. They can't play any worse. They really can't. I mean, there's only room for improvement, and I understand they got killed by like 40, but it was over at like halftime. Actually, it was over at like the third quarter. But you mean they can't play any worse? As bad as they looked, I'm a Hawks believer, just because of all the athleticism they have and how they just kind of just go on runs and just play out of their mind. I don't think they're as good as the Magic, and I don't think they'll win the series. I do think they can push it to 7, at least. I guess that's the only way they can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talked about the Magic were the most impressive team of the first round overall.
That's true.
And then they came out and went ahead and won by, they won by like 43?
43, yeah.
43, yeah. The Hawks struggled to beat Milwaukee that didn't have Andrew Bogut.
That's
and on
true.
a side note, I never thought I would be saying that Andrew Bogut
was a factor.
It was a factor, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, fear the deer.
I just don't see any way that the Hawks can win the series. If they can hold down the highlight factory, though, they'll push it to 7.
I just look at their first road game in each series. I saw it on SportsCenter. It was their first road game in each series, like the past 6 years or something like that. They've been killed every road game. So you got to think it's going to improve, right? Right, Chris Webber? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but when this Magic team is just so much better.
See, I don't think they're so much better. I do. If they're playing out of their mind like they are in Game 1, they'll beat anybody. They'll kill the Cavs. They'll kill the Lakers. They're absolutely killing right now. And I just think they have to eventually, with their coaching and how they just, and Vince Carter's erratic 2000 shooting, I mean, he acts like he's playing a video game by himself sometimes. I just don't think that they'll be able to keep up the pace that they're at, maybe for a whole series or into the finals like they are. But I guess until they they haven't proven me wrong yet, because they're still killing people.
And one thing with the Hawks is, I think I saw a stat on SportsCenter too, something about how the Hawks had maybe like 13 field goals in a certain time span, and in that same time span, the Magic had 12 dunks or layups. So the Hawks might want to try to improve a little bit defensively.
Do you watch SportsCenter?
SportsCenter, what's that?
I don't know. You said I saw it on SportsCenter, and I think that's where I saw mine. Were you watching the same episode as me?
I don't know what SportsCenter is.
Oh. Okay, well, let's move on. I'm gonna have to cut that out. That was funny though.
You're gonna have to cut what out?
This whole laughing that we're kind of just going through. All right, let's move on to another series that the Los Suns took last night. They went up 2-0. They look as impressive as I've seen them play, and they really pissed off Greg Popovich. Did you see that post-game interview?
No, what? Tell me about the post-game interview. I missed it.
Think of a question.
From being in this position against the Hornets 2 years ago.
What? Think about the Hornets 2 years ago?
You were in similar position. Lost
No, I won't think about that at all. These guys are grown men. They don't need me to say. Now, remember the Hornets, fellas. We got to really pull it together for Game 3. Maybe I'll talk about the Gipper if I'm going to talk about the Hornets. I mean, they're grown. They know what they have to do. They know they're down 2-0, and they'll come back and try their best again in Game 3, and we'll win or we'll lose.
It was absolutely epic. But, yeah, the Spurs, I don't know, is it the Spurs don't look good or the Suns just look that much better?
The Spurs look as good as they're going to look, I think. And the Suns just look better. If the Suns play like they do, or they have in Games 1 and Game 2, I think the Spurs are just not good enough to win. I think Tim Duncan, who actually played really well last night, is 2 years too old to be the key factor that the Spurs need him to be. Richard Jefferson isn't at all what they thought he would be. And Manu Ginobili has a giant, I don't know what the best word for it is, big white pad on his face. You can't win a series with a guy that looks that dumb. And he's left-handed.
Ooh, oh man. I thought those are fighting words with the left-handed community. Are you a handist?
I'm not a handist, but I'm going to act like I am for the rest of this podcast.
Fair enough. All right. Since everyone else in the media is doing it, and we're kind of like the media, right? Bloggers, that's like a halfway media point. Yeah?
Yeah, except better.
Better, right. So we have to talk about LeBron's elbow, right?
Yeah.
All right, I only have one thought on it. Actually, I have like a few thoughts. Just being a Cavs fan. When you texted me off air, of course, about 2 days ago and asked me if I was worried, I said no. In the meantime, I've changed my mind. I'm not worried about the series. I am worried about LeBron's elbow, so you can stop dancing in your screen. I'm worried about his elbow. You don't get 3 MRIs in a 10-day span unless something is really wrong. You're not just going to the MRI room for fun and say, hey, let's give it another MRI and see if we can find something the first 2 didn't find. There's got to be a serious problem that's affecting him, at least. I mean, he's 3 for 10 from 3-point, and he's never been the best 3-point shooter, but he absolutely lit up Chicago from the 3-point line. So that tells me something's definitely wrong with that elbow.
Well, on his elbow, my thoughts are this. I don't have any idea what's going on inside his elbow. Actually, have you seen his elbow's Twitter page?
I did. I have not seen it, but I did hear he has a Twitter page for his elbow.
I read through them last night. It was really funny, but that's beside the point. I just wanted to bring it up. I think that he was flipping through channels the other day, and he came across ESPN Classic. And the game from the NBA Finals where Michael Jordan had the flu and still played was on. And LeBron was like, if I do win this championship, I'm going to be making it look way too easy. So I need to get hurt or make it look like I got hurt. And that way, every single one of my playoff games will be on ESPN Classic because I was doing it with an injured elbow.
I like that analysis. It's good.
I would like to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett threw the chalk up in the air before LeBron was in the league.
Yeah.
I want everybody who listens to this, all 8 people, to know that that's not LeBron's thing.
It is LeBron's thing because he's much more marketable than Kevin Garnett ever was.
Oh, absolutely. In that sense, it is. But LeBron didn't like. LeBron wasn't sitting at home one
No,
day. And he
definitely
wasn't
not.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, I can throw this up in the air and it'll be original, and Nike's gonna love it.
Well,
It
Dwayne
was
Wade
Kevin
decides he's going to do a pull-up on the rim, so
Uh,
that's
I
kind
love
of
it.
that's kind of weird. And then Kevin Garnett's trying to bullfight the backboard padding or whatever he's got going there.
he's a little, yeah, he's a little lost.
Breaking news on Get Buckets podcast: Danny Ainge fined $25,000. There's your breaking news. We're now a real media outlet, Kyle.
It wasn't really. I mean, it was fairly breaking news, I guess. But no one's gonna hear it here first, so it doesn't matter.
No, by the time this is up, it's gonna be already. The Hawks have probably already played their game by now.
Really. But yeah, that he deserved to be fined for. It was really funny. I don't.
The funniest part was they were up 20. Did he really need that competitive edge? And J.J. Hickson made the free throw.
Yeah, the funniest part is that J.J. Hickson made the free throw.
You got to stop him from making the free throw if you're going to play defense like that.
Yeah, if you're going to get a $20,000 fine, you might just want to throw the towel at J.J. Hickson.
All right, one final series. Lakers and Jazz. I've been impressed with the Jazz, I guess, just because how close they are. They don't have enough firepower to win this series, but Utah is a tough place to play. I think they can get two there, kind of like Oklahoma City got two at home. They could maybe force Game 6, Game 7. I don't know. I was expecting, the Jazz almost don't, they can't compete. There's two, unless Andre Karolinko comes back at a really high level of play immediately, they're not going to win this series. But I've been impressed with how close they've kept it, and at times they look really, really good.
Well, I think their main problem is they go on dry spells that allow the Lakers to get up 13, 14 points.
Definitely.
I think the Lakers have been ahead by at least 14 points in the first half of both games. And they do a great job of getting themselves back into the game, but then they always seem to go on a dry spell right around the end of the game just to give the Lakers enough cushion where it's hard for the Jazz to make a run at the end of the game.
Who's the Jazz backup point guard? Is Ronnie Price their backup point guard, or am I making that name up?
No, that's exactly who it is.
He is playing incredible because they're making all their runs in the fourth quarter when he's on the floor, and then they're bringing Darren Williams back. And I'm gonna more relate that to a coincidence. I don't think having Ronnie Price on the floor in crunch time is maybe the best way to go, but that second group has gotten them the lead in both games late in the game, and the Lakers have come back and won it. So is it Darren Williams' fault? Probably not, but maybe.
I think you have to take into account who's on the other side of the floor from Ronnie Price. Is it Kobe? Is it Luke Walton? There was my Luke Walton.
Yeah, I was about to say, you had to get your Luke Walton. You got your Luke Walton in there. Congratulations.
Thank you. I hate him.
You have anything else to add about actual playoffs before we start rambling for a while?
I think the Suns and the Lakers are going to win the two series in the West, and I think that the Suns have a very good chance at beating the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
I love the Suns now. I don't know why. I can only love so many teams in the playoffs, right? But right now OKC got knocked out, so I have to have a new Western Conference team. So the Suns have immediately become that. I don't know, the way they play is exciting to me. And everyone thinks that you can't win a title playing fast break basketball, which, if they're playing defense like they are right now, they're playing defense. Amari actually looks like a defender at times. So I believe in them, but I'm more worried about my Cavs right now than anything.
Go Celtics. Go Celtics.
Suck it, Celtics. All right, here's my bold prediction for the day. Cavs are going to win Game 3. Actually, they have to win Game 3. If they don't win Game 3, they're in big trouble.
Your bold predictions really aren't all that bold.
Hey, they're really bold.
A bold prediction would be like J.J. Hickson scores 35 points and carries the Cavs.
That's stupid bold.
That's bold.
It's not bold.
It's bold.
That's it. That's moronic.
LeBron James' left arm falls off.
See, I was gonna say
And-
LeBron James goes off in wheelchair and then comes back, but I think Paul Pierce already did that one.
Yeah, he did. That's the truth, if you see what I'm doing with that.
Oh, the truth. Good play on worst stuff. That's good. But I really think that if the Cavs are gonna win this series and move on, they have to win Game 3. I
don't.
There's no sense of urgency the first two games. Mike Brown said it the best. They look absolutely uninspired to play basketball, and I'm not exactly sure why.
That doesn't really make sense. Maybe it had something to do with LeBron's big MVP party.
But even Game 1, they were down like 12. They just don't have that. I don't even know what to call it. They just don't have it right now.
That fire.
Fire?
Yeah, the fire. The desire.
Okay, good words. Good word choices. All right. I believe you have a birthday shout-out.
Yeah, today, one of my best friends and my roommate this year, Michael Goldstein, the biggest Josh Lomers fan that I know, is turning 20 years old. So, happy birthday, Goldstein. We love you.
Yeah, Goldstein. All right. If it's your birthday and you'd like a shout-out, you can text me, and maybe I'll get you on sometime.
Or you can text me.
I believe you gave out your number last time. Do you really want to do that again?
Well, considering it had no effects last time.
Did you get no text messages?
No text messages, except you, of course.
All right. That's one.
Oh, no, Blake sent me a text, but he already had my number.
Count it. That's two.
Okay, there we go.
Some quick side notes. Gordon Hayward is, for real, entering the NBA draft. What are your thoughts on that?
I see him being the next Adam Morrison. I see him just being like this really hyped college star that sits on the end of the bench for whatever team he's on. And I hate that because I really like Gordon Hayward. I'm just not sure he's ever going to be ready for the league. Like, I think I agree with him going now because everyone's like, oh, Gordon Hayward.
Everyone's riding his tip right now.
Yeah. and I think it's best for him to go now for when he'll get drafted and how much money he's going to make. But I just don't really ever see him making a real impact in the league.
I'll second that. I don't think he'll be a great, impactful player. I think he'll be better than Morrison just because I really don't even have a reason. If you would have asked me the same thing about Morrison, I probably would have said Morrison to be a star for many years to come when he came in.
The facial hair.
It was the stash. I believed in it, and so did every GM, and it just didn't work out. But Gordon Hayward to me has a lot more upside maybe than Morrison did. I really don't know. Time will tell whether Gordon Hayward will be good. But I would say me and you are on the right track with he won't be very good.
I've got one more quick note. I actually saw this while I was checking Twitter this morning when I woke up.
You're checking what?
Twitter.
What is that?
You're funny.
What is Twitter?
Anyways, I follow ESPN.com on Twitter.
That's cool.
And they informed me of a couple different things, one of which we're going to bring up on the air today. Antoine Walker is going to try to make an NBA comeback. What do you think?
Evil laugh. He wasn't even good when he was good. So what is that?
What's he going to come back to?
Yeah, you gotta come back to something. But
you have to leave. You have to leave something to come back. Like when Michael Jordan left basketball for baseball, he was leaving greatness. Antoine Walker is leaving shooting way too many threes and being mediocre at best and not playing defense.
Was his last team the Heat?
It was.
Okay.
His last team was the Heat.
Is he getting paid this year? Have we looked that up in contracts?
He's not getting paid this year. He's actually... You've heard all the stories about how he's bankrupt now.
Oh, yeah. That's why he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he was playing for some team when he went bankrupt. I think he signed with a team in like Russia or some other
Oh, Soviet
communist,
Russia. Oh.
some other communist country
China?
over
Cuba?
very well. You done?
I'm thinking of more communist nations, but I can't. So yeah, I'm done.
I think he was just playing out of the country somewhere for a little bit of money, but I guess he wants the big bucks back in the NBA. Real quick on Rasheed Wallace, he's the X factor in the series.
He's the X factor?
Besides LeBron's elbow, if Rasheed Wallace comes in and plays like he did in Game 2, the Celtics are going to be very hard to beat.
He's never going to do that again.
Yes, he is.
He's done it one game all year.
Rasheed's coming back.
This is the only game anyone said anything positive about Rasheed all season. You think he's going to put back-to-back games together, or 3 out of 4?
I do, because I think one of the reasons that he played so poorly throughout the season is because everybody was like, oh, Rasheed, he's not in game shape. He sucks. Why did they sign him?
And people are still doing that.
No, but now people are like, Rasheed, he could save the series for us. He could carry us to victory.
Rasheed cannot be their go-to X factor.
He can be their X factor, not their go-to.
Rondo's the X factor. Because with Rondo goes that entire team.
Because Rondo is to the point where he's going to get his.
He's their X factor, as if he can play as well as he did last game, then they're going to win. The Cavs have to keep him out of the paint, but if he can get in the paint, then they're going to win like they did. I don't think it has anything to do with Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed Wallace, he almost means nothing to this series. He had that good game, and I don't think it'll happen again. Michael Finley is more likely to have a good game.
How do you feel about how the Cavs guard Rondo? Do you like the fact that they back off of him, or do you think they should pressure him a little bit more? In theory, I like the idea of backing off of him just because he can't shoot. But if you're going to back off of him and he's still going by you, you have problems. You gotta pick what you're going to do. If you're going to back off of him, you got to keep him out of the paint. Because if not, just go and pressure him and see what happens there. Yeah, I think when you back off of him, it almost gives him...
Maybe too much space?
It gives him too much space. Like, he almost can come at you with a running start.
Yeah,
and that's impossible to guard. Why would you... Like, it's almost giving him room to become quicker.
I just don't like... Maybe it's only with Shaq out there and kind of Varejao. I just don't like if they go pick and roll and we're uptight. I just don't think we're in a good scenario with Shaq. Because Shaq doesn't hedge. He's always guarding the paint. But Varejao tries to hedge. He's not that good at it. Hickson's the most athletic person they have, and he's actually really good at it. But he's not on the floor. And I think that... I'm not Mike Brown's conscience, but I think Mike Brown's realized that he's going to have to get J.J. Hickson more minutes in this series for them to be successful. Yeah,
I think J.J. Hickson could be the defensive X factor for the Cavs. I'm throwing out lots of X factors today.
Hey, just if we can get Gatorade to sponsor this would be good stuff.
That would be good stuff. I
don't even think they make X Factor anymore, actually.
I think they still do.
Do they really?
I think so. I had one a couple days ago.
I'm hydrating myself with low-calorie G2, which before the show, me and Kyle went over, is somewhat low-calorie, but it's a bit misleading.
It's actually a lot misleading. It is lower calorie than normal Gatorade, though.
By about 50%.
25%.
Really?
Yeah, because we multiplied it out. It was 200 to 50.
No, okay, we got...
If they both have 4 servings...
Yeah, hold on. We got both bottles right here. Here we go. Get buckets, nutritional facts for the day. Here we go. All right, servings per container, 4. Normal Gatorade has 50. 50 times 4, 200 calories in a 32-ounce bottle. G2, low calorie, 4 times 20, 80.
Oh,
so
80,
it's
yeah.
50, at least 50%. It's actually like 60.
Yeah, we were both wrong.
I was closer. You weren't even close.
You're right. I was thinking there were 50 for some reason. However, I'm drinking water.
How many calories?
I actually was just looking. I'm going to guess 0.
How many? What's your serving says?
I'm lost. This label is so small, I can't find anything on it.
You need a 32-ounce Gatorade.
However, it is recyclable, in Hawaii or Oregon, this is worth 5 cents.
I'm moving. All right, Blake Jackson joins us now via the Skype hotline. Blake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Great. Blake will be a recurring guest on this show. Blake, we had a pancake prom last night. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, well, it's a great event put on for possibly charity in the future, where we made pancakes and everyone dressed up in their beautiful attire, and the people brought breakfast things, mostly cinnamon rolls. Actually, it was only cinnamon rolls that people brought, weirdly enough. And also, in the first time in pancake prom history, just to let you know, this is our first annual one, but for the first time in history, we had 2 girls be the prom king and queen.
Was that awkward?
No, it's not that so much that they're lesbians. It's more just that they're 2 girls. And then we had a dance party and, to some really sweet beats. And I'm pretty sure the girls downstairs hate us, but, it's for a good cause. So I don't really care.
Maybe one day?
Yeah, maybe one day it'll be for a good cause.
Do you have a Twitter?
No, I don't twit.
Tweet would be the word you're looking for there.
Oh, right. I don't tweet. I really got into that. So don't try and follow me.
Kyle has a Twitter.
My username is simply my name, Kyle Crawford. Not too hard to find, really.
Well, if I get one day, I'll follow you.
Thanks.
For those that want to Skype with Blake, his Skype username is Video Chat with Blake. So you should hit him up on that.
Yeah, because I'm on it quite often. I downloaded it 10 minutes ago.
Blake, I know that you are an assistant coach / head coach /
mostly head coach. Mostly head coach.
Whatever you want to call yourself of a coach pitch baseball team down there in the Prison City. How is that going? How's your team looking this year?
Well, first off, I wanted to say that I have a plaque that says head coach, so I'm just throwing that out there. But it's actually going well. We got a couple of kids. The Phillies came down last week to look at a couple of kids during practice. I had to send them away, too big of a distraction. And but we're doing some things. We're doing well, hitting the ball, running fast, running left, fielding. We stop the ball.
We're not very good at that, Blake.
We stop the ball every now and then. But we score a lot of runs, and that's, I guess, got to score runs to win. Yeah, also, if you're a parent listening to this, batting cages start at 9:15 sharp.
And don't yell at the coaches.
Please.
Or the coach pitch lady that I don't know the name of.
Oh, yeah, we will also not be having a parent-coach conference after the game because this is a dictatorship. You're not the board of directors.
Yeah, Blake, tell him about your pitching that you've had to step in for Coach Casey.
Oh, right. Well, it's quite unfortunate that I had to step in. But my pitching's gone all right. I've only hit one kid. Nailed him right in the gut yesterday at practice.
It was hard.
It was hard. I hummed it pretty good. Not intentionally, but things happen.
If you hit him in the gut...
It was like a rib shot.
Okay, so he didn't turn into it? He didn't, squash the bug into it?
He had nowhere to go.
He had nowhere to go. He just froze when I threw it at him.
It was like a deer in the headlights?
Yes.
What was weird about it is, Blake, you threw that pitch, way faster than any of your other pitches.
I know.
Were you trying to prove a point?
Yeah, the kid wouldn't swing. No, that's a joke.
All right, well...
I hope the law enforcement doesn't listen to this.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? It's on iTunes. Of course they're listening to it.
It's a good point.
I hope the FCC's listening to it, too.
I hope that this is Blake. Blake is not the next Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, goodness.
You had to bring... Oh, my gosh. You really... We just discussed it. I thought we said we weren't going there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch SportsCenter.
Da-da-da.
All right, well, Blake, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to our future encounters, and we should be going to lunch in 30 minutes.
All right, excellent. Well, I really enjoyed my time here talking to you all today on Inconsiderate Thoughts with Nathan and Kyle.
You're still jealous that you didn't win the naming rights contest?
I'm just saying that's what's going to show up on my iPod app. So
Oh, speaking of which, I'll let you stay on for this segment. We do have the winner to the Naming Rights contest. It is nobody. Y'all all sucked. Every one of you.
Okay, easy. That's not necessarily true.
No, that's not true. I'm just a little... I'll tell the story in a minute.
Yeah. We're actually going to be called... Is it just Get Buckets?
Just Get Buckets. That's all we do.
We're going to be getting buckets here, and we want y'all to come and get buckets with us. But I'm going to go ahead and let Harvey tell the story, because while Blake's names and Nick's names did suck, there were some that didn't.
I had some good ones.
Yeah, Blake, I'm gonna go over a few of your honorable mentions. Here's the podcast name honorable mention contest here. From submitted by Blake Jackson, we had The Spotlight, kind of catchy. We had Too Many Balls and No Court, and Kyle tried to take that somewhere else. And Blake also came up with something called The Ball Hogs, among other things. Those were his top three. I'm going to shout out to Kevin Smith, who his submission was Harvey Nation, which I loved, but I don't know why Kyle didn't. And then he only did this to get on the air, and he successfully did it. I now have a good 20 names submitted by Nick Harmon, and I'm going to go over a few of the worst. Ducks Go Quack, The Al Davis Intern Show, Sporting Nerds Podcast, No NASCAR Needed, Kyle and Nathan Don't Yo-Yo, which spells candy, and and another good one of his was Under the Trench Coat with Kyle and Nathan. And I have no idea what that means. But Nick Harmon, congratulations on being so bad that you got on the air.
Maybe we can bring him in as a guest sometime, just for fun.
We'll have to see about that. I'm sure.
That last one kind of makes y'all sound like y'all are going to shoot up the whole block under the trench coat.
Are you implying we're holding something underneath the trench coat?
I'm not comfortable.
Okay, we'll stop. I'll tell the story of... So, Alec Walker, a reader of Harvey Nation, and he's actually been interviewed on the blog, and he's a listener to the podcast. He actually had the winning submission, but I won't tell what that is.
It was the frequency.
No, it was not the frequency. That was a lie. I lied to you. Alec had a few submissions, and we were going to go with his, and then last night... We had all settled. I had the artwork. I had photoshopped it. We were good to go. We were going to tape the podcast this morning, and we were going to submit it. And then last night, I had a dream. And this isn't a Martin Luther King.
Last night, no. I had high top Nikes.
Oh, Taylor, stop. Okay. I had a dream that we were doing the podcast, and I said something like, get buckets, and it just sounded so perfectly that I couldn't pass it up. So the name of the podcast is officially Get Buckets, and we hope you come and get buckets with us every 13 days or however often we do this thing. Kyle, you have any insight to that?
Hopefully we'll be doing the podcast more than once in every 13 days.
Yeah, this has really been a bad time for us with finals and all that.
Yeah, we picked a bad time to launch this, and we're sorry to our loyal fans out there.
We love you.
We think y'all are great. Thanks for listening to the first podcast, and we're going to try to give you a lot more to listen to.
All right. Well, with that, we are done for the day. We hope to be actually back really soon because Kyle's going to be done with school, and I don't like school, so that's a great combination for a podcast. Kyle, you have any parting words?
I hate Luke Walton. Kevin Garnett did it first. And go Celtics.
All right, my parting words will be the opposite. I hope your elbow feels better. And play me on Words with Friends. Harvey Nation, let's go. Peace.
Bye.
See ya.